Instinction is an action-adventure game that immerses players in a world teeming with prehistoric creatures, mysterious ruins, and lush, visually stunning landscapes. Developed by Hashbane Interactive, it blends elements of exploration, puzzle solving, and intense combat. Players take on the role of an adventurer seeking to uncover ancient secrets while surviving encounters with lifelike dinosaurs and other prehistoric animals. The game features dynamic weather, photorealistic visuals powered by Unreal Engine, customizable weaponry to adapt to various threats. With a narrative-driven campaign and environmental storytelling, Instinction aims to balance action with moments of awe and discovery. It supports single-player and co-op modes, catering to both solo explorers and team adventurers. Ark Raiders is a cooperative third-person shooter set in a vibrant yet perilous sci-fi universe. Developed by Embark Studios, the game focuses on teamwork as players band together to fend off relentless mechanical foes known as the ARC. These invaders descend from orbit, threatening humanity's survival in a post-apocalyptic world filled with lush environments and remnants of advanced technology. Players assume the role of raiders, scavengers equipped with unique abilities and a variety of weapons, gadgets, tools to strategize against overwhelming odds. The game emphasizes tactical coordination, leveraging the environment for cover, ambushing enemies, or scavenging materials to craft essential supplies. With its stunning graphics, dynamic encounters, and an evolving open-world map, Ark Raiders offers an intense and immersive co-op experience that challenges players to adapt and survive against a formidable enemy.
You get to decide what kind of raider you'll become, shaping your own legacy, your raider, and your home.
Rooted is a survival game set in a post-apocalyptic world where players must adapt, explore, and thrive amidst the ruins of a civilization decimated by a mysterious bacterial outbreak. Developed by Headlight Studio, the game offers a rich and dynamic open-world experience combining exploration, crafting, and combat as players navigate a dangerous and visually breathtaking environment. In Rooted, survival hinges on scavenging resources, building shelters, and creating tools to defend against both environmental threats and hostile forces. The game emphasizes realism with features like dynamic weather, detailed crafting systems, and the necessity to maintain physical and mental health. Cooperative multiplayer allows players to team up, sharing resources and strategies to tackle challenges together.
For safety reasons, the Army has deployed autonomous civilian security robots. They are here to protect you.
Blight Survival is a gritty and atmospheric co-op action game set in an alternate 14th century plagued by war and a mysterious fungal infection. Developed by Hanier Studio, the game combines survival horror with medieval combat, immersing players in a brutal world overrun by the Blight, which reanimates the dead and turns them into feral creatures. Players take on the role of mercenaries navigating the desolate no man's land between two warring factions. The game emphasizes teamwork, allowing up to 4 players to band together, scavenge resources, and face increasingly dangerous enemies. Combat is skill-based, blending visceral melee encounters with ranged options, while a deep loot and progression system lets players upgrade their gear and abilities. Featuring stunning visuals powered by Unreal Engine 5, a semi-open world, and an oppressive atmosphere, Blight Survival delivers a uniquely challenging blend of medieval survival and horror in a treacherous and immersive setting.
It only gets worse after they're dead. Makes you almost sorry for him. My ass doesn't feel too sorry. Keep looking.
The Lost Wild is a first-person survival horror game that thrusts players into a lush, prehistoric wilderness teeming with life and danger. Developed by Great Ape Games, it delivers an intense and immersive experience where players must navigate a dense jungle populated by intelligent and highly reactive dinosaurs. The focus is on evasion and strategy rather than brute force, creating a tense atmosphere where every encounter is a test of wits and survival skills. Players must explore ancient ruin and overgrown facilities to uncover the mysteries of their surroundings while scavenging for tools and resources. The dinosaurs are unpredictable and respond dynamically to the player's actions, forcing constant adaptation. Stealth, distraction, and careful planning are key to surviving the relentless threats. Powered by Unreal Engine, The Lost Wild features stunning visuals and a captivating soundscape, drawing players into its rich and terrifying world. Subnautica 2 is a standalone sequel to the critically acclaimed underwater survival game Subnautica. Developed by Unknown Worlds Entertainment, it transports players to the frozen seas of planet 4546b, where they must uncover secrets, survive extreme conditions, and navigate a new, dangerous ecosystem. Set in an Arctic region of the alien planet, players explore icy waters, underwater caves, and frozen landscapes, encountering both beautiful and terrifying creatures. The game introduces new vehicles, tools, and a modular base building system to help players adapt to the harsh environment. Survival depends on managing resources, crafting gear, and enduring threats from aggressive wildlife and the elements. With a deeper narrative focus than its predecessor, Below Zero reveals the story of a scientist investigating a corporate conspiracy while surviving on a hostile world. Reanimal is an upcoming adventure horror game from Tarsier Studios, the creators of Little Nightmares. This chilling cooperative experience follows a brother and sister as they embark on a desperate journey through a hellish island to rescue their missing friends. Players must explore by both boat and land, solving puzzles and working together to outwit the dangers of the cursed island and the enigmatic entity that relentlessly pursues them. The game's narrative blends horror with hope, focusing on the bond between two orphans as they navigate their grim reality in search of salvation. The atmospheric world is dark and twisted, featuring interconnected pathways that reveal a sprawling, branching story filled with mysterious locations, each with its own haunting lore. Tarsier Studios brings its signature visual style to life with a cast of original monsters and broken but resilient child protagonists.
I thought you were dead.
Chernobylite 2 Exclusion Zone is the anticipated sequel to the critically acclaimed sci-fi survival horror RPG Chernobylite. Developed by the Farm 51, the game returns players to the hauntingly atmospheric Chernobyl exclusion zone, now more dangerous and mysterious than ever. Set years after the events of the original, the zone has evolved with new threats, mutated creatures, and deeper secrets waiting to be uncovered. In this immersive RPG, players must navigate a treacherous open world filled with dynamic events, hostile factions, and eerie anomalies. Building on its predecessor's mechanics, Chernobylite 2 expands crafting, base building, and squad management systems, emphasizing strategic choices and survival. Every decision impacts the story, shaping alliances, character fates, and the zone itself. With upgraded visuals powered by the latest technology, Chernobylite 2 delivers an even more chilling and immersive experience. Big Walk is a heartwarming and visually captivating adventure game that takes players on an epic journey through a beautifully crafted open world. Developed with a focus on exploration and connection, the game invites players to take part in a unique annual tradition, a communal trek across diverse landscapes aiming to foster unity, discovery, and self-reflection. Players assume the role of a participant in the Big Walk, navigating through forests, mountains, villages, and rivers, each brimming with life and secrets. Along the way, you'll meet a variety of characters, each with their own story stories, struggles, and contributions to the journey. The game emphasizes cooperation and sharing, offering opportunities to help fellow travelers and solve puzzles together. With its serene atmosphere, charming art style, and dynamic weather effects, Big Walk provides a soothing yet deeply engaging experience. Jurassic Park Survival is an immersive survival adventure game set in the iconic world of Jurassic Park. Players are thrust into the heart of the island, where a catastrophic event has led to the escape of dangerous dinosaurs. The game challenges players to survive, explore, and ultimately escape the island while facing the various dangers posed by prehistoric creatures. In Jurassic Park Survival, the gameplay combines elements of exploration, resource gathering, crafting, and combat. Players can choose to play as a character stranded on the island, either a park employee or a visitor, each with unique abilities and backgrounds. The goal is to survive in a harsh environment filled with lethal dinosaurs, ranging from herbivores like the gentle Brachiosaurus to terrifying carnivores like the mighty T-Rex and the cunning Velociraptors. The game world is a vast open-world recreation of Jurassic Park. Nakwon Last Paradise is a third-person stealth-based survival game set in a unique post-apocalyptic world where players must navigate a city overrun by both zombies and hostile survivors. In this harsh new society, the line between friend and foe is blurred as everyone fights to survive in a chaotic, ever-changing environment. In Nakwon Last Paradise, players take on the role of a survivor in a city where the undead and other human factions coexist, making survival a constant challenge. The game features a dynamic PvPvE, player versus environment structure, where players must not only fend off zombies but also deal with rival survivors, each with their own motivations and strategies. Stealth is a key element of gameplay as players must carefully plan their actions to avoid attracting attention from both zombies and hostile humans. Resources are scarce and players must scavenge for food, water, weapons, and materials to craft essential items. Retrieval is a survival horror action-adventure game that immerses players in a gripping narrative full of unexpected twists, exploring themes of friendship, love, loyalty, and terror. Set on the distant planet of Realian, players assume the role of Hannah Loche, the commander of a research team who by chance finds herself stranded in a mysterious retro-futuristic underground metro base. As Hannah explores the eerie, decaying facility, she uncovers horrifying secrets hidden deep within its walls. The world is a broken, hostile environment where survival is paramount and danger lurks at every corner. Players must navigate this ruined, labyrinthine world, facing relentless trials and terrifying enemies. Stealth, resourcefulness, and quick thinking are essential as the environment itself becomes a constant threat. The game combines intense action sequences with atmospheric exploration.
All this to start our new life.
Little Nightmares 3 is a hauntingly atmospheric survival horror puzzle platformer that continues the eerie and immersive world of the Little Nightmares series. In this new installment, players step into the shoes of two characters, each with their unique abilities and perspectives. Set in a dark and twisted world, the game introduces new environments, terrifying creatures, and challenging puzzles that players must solve to escape the nightmarish reality they find themselves trapped in. The story follows a young girl and her companion as they navigate through the sinister, ever-shifting shifting environments. The world is a blend of bizarre and unsettling locations, including eerie forests, abandoned structures, and distorted, nightmarish versions of everyday places. The atmosphere is tense and oppressive, with every step filled with dread as players uncover the dark secrets hidden in the depths of the world. Ferocious is an intense, action-packed survival horror game set in a brutal, open-world environment where players must face their worst fears and confront terrifying creatures. The game takes place in a dark, post-apocalyptic world where humanity has been ravaged by monstrous beasts and survival is the ultimate goal. As players navigate through dangerous landscapes filled with deadly predators, they must scavenge for resources, craft weapons, and engage in heart-pounding combat to stay alive. In Ferocious, players assume the role of a lone survivor trapped in a hostile world where monstrous creatures, both humanoid and animalistic, rule the land. These creatures, with their grotesque appearances and unpredictable behaviors, hunt relentlessly, making the player's survival all the more challenging. The environment itself is a constant threat, with harsh weather conditions, treacherous terrain, and limited resources adding to the game's difficulty. Sand is an open-world survival exploration game set on the desolate, post-apocalyptic planet of Sophie, a once thriving world now ravaged by a catastrophic ecological disaster. Players are thrust into the role of a brave explorer, tasked with navigating the barren deserts of Sophie in search of valuable resources and hidden treasures. To traverse this harsh, resource-deprived environment, players command a trampler, a walking mech that serves as both their base of operations and their means of survival. The trampler is fully customizable, allowing players to modify everything from its internal layout to its armor, weapons, and power systems. It functions as a mobile base, offering storage for valuable loot, crafting stations, and a hub for exploration. As players progress, they can upgrade their trampler to enhance its capabilities, making it more efficient in traversing the desolate landscape and capable of withstanding the challenges that await.
Ну що, хлопці, запрягайте. Бачу, вже насувається буря. Невдовзі зустрінемося знову. Якщо вам пощастить.
As One We Survive is a cooperative survival game set in a post-apocalyptic world where players must band together to navigate a ruined civilization. The game emphasizes teamwork, resource management, and strategy, with players taking on the roles of survivors struggling to rebuild their lives in a world ravaged by an unknown disaster. The game world is vast and open, featuring dynamic weather, changing seasons, and a variety of environments, from urban ruins to desolate forests and mountains, each offering its own set of challenges. In As One We Survive, players must scavenge for supplies, build shelters, and craft weapons and tools to protect themselves from the harsh elements and hostile enemies. The game's core mechanic revolves around cooperation, as surviving alone is nearly impossible. Each player has a unique skill set that contributes to the group's overall survival, whether it's gathering resources, crafting, defending the camp, or providing medical aid. State of Decay 3 is an open-world survival game set in a post-apocalyptic world overrun by zombies. Building on the foundation of its predecessors, the game challenges players to rebuild society from the ground up while fending off hordes of the undead, scavenging for resources, and managing a group of survivors. The game takes place in a vast open world filled with various environments, from rural towns to dense forests and urban ruins, each with its own unique challenges and opportunities for survival. In State of Decay 3, players take on the role of a leader of a group of survivors, tasked with making critical decisions to ensure the safety and well-being of their community. The game features a dynamic, living world where player choices have significant consequences, affecting relationships, morale, and the overall fate of the group. Players must balance managing resources, fortifying their base, and exploring the world in search of supplies, while constantly defending against zombie attacks and hostile human factions.
No one is forgotten. We live on.
Ark 2 is an action-packed survival game set in a prehistoric open-world environment where players are thrown into a world teeming with dinosaurs and other dangerous creatures. This highly anticipated sequel to ARK, Survival Evolved, builds upon the foundation of its predecessor, offering an expanded immersive experience with new features, mechanics, and an engaging storyline. In ARK 2, players find themselves stranded on a mysterious island known as the Ark, where prehistoric creatures including massive dinosaurs and mythical beasts roam freely. The primary goal is survival. Players must gather resources, craft tools, and build shelters to protect themselves from the harsh environment and the deadly creatures that inhabit it. The game is heavily focused on exploration, combat, and resource management, with players needing to master the art of taming and riding dinosaurs to traverse the vast landscape and defend against threats. ILL is a first-person survival horror game that immerses players in a gruesome world filled with horror and suspense. Set in a sinister settlement, players uncover the dark secrets of why the area is plagued with brutality and madness. The game features intense body horror, enhanced by a detailed dismemberment and physics system, offering a chilling experience as players face grotesque monsters in an ever-evolving environment. In ILL, combat requires strategic thinking. Enemies react unpredictably, with pain responses and environmental awareness, making each encounter unique. The game's dismemberment system allows players to inflict realistic damage on enemies, severing limbs and exposing bones and organs, creating a deeply disturbing and visceral experience. The weapon system in ILL is complex and requires players to maintain and repair their weapons while keeping track of ammo types. Deathground is a heart-pounding survival horror game that plunges players into a terrifying jungle teeming with deadly, genetically engineered dinosaurs. Inspired by the thrills of classic dinosaur survival films, the game challenges players to survive in an unpredictable and deadly environment while hunting for resources, building defenses, and evading or confronting vicious predators. Set in an isolated research facility on a remote island, Deathground focuses on a tense, co-op survival experience. Players can choose to team up with others in a cooperative multiplayer mode or take on the challenge solo. The objective is to scavenge, survive, and outsmart dangerous dinosaur species that roam the jungle while uncovering the dark secrets behind the research facility's downfall. The game's AI system makes the dinosaurs highly intelligent and unpredictable, providing players with an ever-present feeling of danger. Nobody's Left is a post-apocalyptic survival game set in a war-torn city where the boundaries between humanity and monstrosity are blurred. In this grim world, the usual rules of society no longer apply, and only those who adapt can hope to survive. Players must protect their loved ones, navigate a shattered cityscape, and make tough decisions that will shape their fate in a story full of unexpected twists. The game focuses on a deeply emotional narrative, where every choice weighs heavily on the survival of the player's community. As resources dwindle and the environment becomes more hostile, players must scavenge, craft, and fight to secure their place in a world that has lost its humanity. Along the way, the player will encounter other survivors, some of whom are willing to help, while others may pose a deadly threat. Trust becomes a scarce commodity, and alliances can quickly turn to betrayal. In Nobody's Left, survival goes beyond combat. Ashfall is an open-world, post-apocalyptic survival game set in a world devastated by environmental collapse. The planet has been ravaged by an endless volcanic eruption, covering the Earth in ash and rendering much of it uninhabitable. Players take on the role of a survivor, navigating a harsh landscape where resources are scarce and danger lurks at every turn. The ultimate goal is to survive, rebuild, and uncover the truth behind the catastrophe that has brought the world to its knees. Set in a stunning yet desolate world, Ashfall features a dynamic, immersive environment where players must scavenge, craft, and manage their resources in order to stay alive. The ashfall that coats the earth not only makes survival more difficult, but also creates unique challenges such as reduced visibility, toxic air, and the risk of sudden volcanic eruptions. Players must find ways to protect themselves from the harsh climate, seek shelter, and search for clean water and food in a world where nothing is guaranteed. Light. No Fire is a cooperative adventure, survival, and exploration game set on a vast fantasy-themed planet the size of Earth. With a deep role-playing system blending seamlessly with sandbox freedom, players can embark on an unforgettable journey to build, survive, and thrive in a procedurally generated world full of surprises. In Light No Fire, players join forces with others from around the globe to create communities, construct durable buildings, and explore the untamed wilderness. Whether you choose to work together in a thriving society or venture alone into the unknown, the game offers endless opportunities for collaboration and personal discovery. The open-world nature of the game allows players to carve out their own path, whether that's establishing a home in a lush forest or venturing deep into dangerous territories in search of rare resources. The planet itself is procedurally generated, offering players a truly unique and expansive experience each time they play. Outbreak Island is an intense survival horror sandbox game set on a remote island plagued by a mysterious outbreak. By day, the island seems calm and inviting, but as night falls, a deadly phenomenon known as the Outbreak awakens bloodthirsty monsters that roam the land. Players must use their wits, resources, and craftiness to survive the relentless threats while building and defending a safe haven in a dangerous world. In Outbreak Island, survival is no easy task. By day, players can explore the island, gather materials, hunt for food, and craft weapons and tools. The world is vast and open, full of lush forests, abandoned structures, and hidden caves to discover. However, the peaceful daylight hours are short-lived. As night descends, the outbreak begins and monstrous creatures emerge from the shadows, eager to hunt and destroy anything in their path. The game's core mechanics revolve around crafting and building. Terminator Survivors is a survival action game set in a post-apocalyptic world where humanity faces extinction at the hands of machines. The game takes place after the rise of Skynet, the self-aware artificial intelligence that has triggered a devastating war between humans and machines. Players must navigate through a harsh and dangerous world, battling relentless Terminators and other robotic foes while trying to rebuild society from the ashes of humanity. In Terminator Survivors, players take on the role of a survivor in a world controlled by machines. The goal is to survive in a vast open-world environment, scavenging for resources, crafting weapons, and fortifying bases to defend against the ever-present threat of robotic enemies. The game's survival mechanics are centered around resource management, where players must scavenge through destroyed cities, abandoned military installations, and other hazardous environments to gather supplies like food, ammunition, and materials for crafting and fortifying their shelters. Atomfall is a gripping survival action game set in the aftermath of a devastating nuclear disaster that has left a large area of Britain in ruins. Players find themselves in a post-apocalyptic world where cities lie in tatters and the environment has been transformed by the fallout. The game combines exploration, scavenging, crafting, and intense combat as players navigate through beautifully recreated yet dangerous landscapes in search of answers and survival. In Atomfall, players take on the role of a survivor, struggling to adapt to a new, harsh reality. The world is filled with radiation, hostile survivors, mutated creatures, and remnants of the once thriving civilization. Players must scavenge for supplies including food, water, medical items, and materials for crafting weapons and tools to defend themselves. The need to manage limited resources is key to staying alive in this devastated world. Crafting plays a crucial role in Atomfall.
Please be careful. It's more dangerous than you can possibly imagine.
Detected.
POLYARIS is a first-person survival game set in a post-nuclear procedurally generated Arctic environment. In this intense and atmospheric game, players find themselves stranded in a frozen wasteland where the remnants of civilization are buried under layers of snow and ice. The harsh, unforgiving landscape is both beautiful and deadly, as players must navigate treacherous terrain, battle extreme cold, and survive against the elements while uncovering the mysteries of the world around them. The core gameplay of POLYARIS revolves around survival in an environment that is as dangerous as it is captivating. Players must manage their health, warmth, and hunger while scavenging for supplies and crafting tools to help them survive. The game features a robust crafting system, where players can gather materials to create essential survival items such as shelter, weapons, and clothing to protect themselves from the biting cold. Dune Awakening is an open-world survival MMORPG set in the iconic harsh desert world of Arrakis, also known as Dune. Based on Frank Herbert's legendary sci-fi series, the game immerses players in a vast desert landscape, where they must navigate the challenges of survival, politics, and the deadly sands of Arrakis. Players take on the role of a survivor, trying to carve out a life in a world ravaged by constant warfare, deadly sandstorms, and the ever-present threat of gigantic sandworms. In Dune Awakening, players explore the vast procedurally generated desert environments of Arrakis, gathering resources, constructing shelters, and adapting to the harsh climate. The game places a heavy emphasis on survival mechanics, where players must manage heat, water, and supplies while staying out of the dangerous sights of both hostile factions and massive sandworms. The game is also deeply focused on the strategic elements of survival and power.
Arrakis is a test. Few survive it. But the humans that do awaken.
Under a Rock is a survival and crafting game for 1 to 10 players set on a mysterious, vibrant island. The game features procedurally generated events, ensuring each playthrough is unique. Players must explore, gather resources, and survive in a world filled with exotic creatures, giant animals, and curious local inhabitants. The island offers dark caves, underwater spaces, an expansive land full of secrets and resources waiting to be discovered. In the game, you play as a 19th century explorer who has crashed in a strange new land where creatures have evolved along a different evolutionary path. Survive by building shelters, crafting tools, farming, fishing, and battling or taming wildlife. You can choose to live a peaceful life by the ocean or engage in full-scale wars with the island's inhabitants. Base building is a key feature, allowing you to create homes, villages, or entire cities, all while decorating and customizing your environment. The Sinking City 2 is a survival horror game set in a terrifying, flooded version of the iconic Lovecraftian city of Arkham, powered by Unreal Engine 5. This chilling sequel immerses players in a dark, atmospheric world where eldritch horrors lurk in every corner, waiting to consume both the city and the minds of its inhabitants. As a detective struggling with your own descent into madness, you must navigate the deteriorating city, now submerged in water, uncovering secrets and confronting nightmares that defy human comprehension. The city itself has become a character with its waterlogged streets, crumbling buildings, and eerie atmosphere. Players will explore abandoned locations, solve complex mysteries, and dare unspeakable monsters in their quest for survival. Combat is intense, and weapons and limited resources must be used wisely to fend off terrifying creatures from beyond the known universe.